Dr. Mahmoud Bamian get debate and say, "Ono we do mampeni Dr. Mahmoud Bamian do mampeni." Na kwan ben so na won so ndi mampeni abedite. Na wo pesa wo mampeni abedite di debate.
What the year kono it is possible campaign how far?
Oh, nyame adaroma you go so why northeast region awie, why northern region, why Savannah region. And they or the upper west region e be wie me no ka say why Japa awie akasisala west ne sisala east. Na or the and dano dubedi na be wie ogusun kakra ofia upper wester or the nimbeche upper east. Na wakwakoto dubedi no so. Nti nyame adaroma so far so good.
Oh, okay, actually, na ya baba di nkomo fa campaign message ne ho. Esi mobile phone 1 CD B nti eba be kan wasem akiri.
Na me sha o ye kado emre bia mo be free bi e be cheche ne me won.
Yati. Yeni Dennis Miracles Abuaje a wono ye spokesperson kasamafo e wo wura ba wo mia campaign team ni mu no edi nkomo e de fa debate a minority no efre senke be ya ye wura ba wo mia emra mrahye bedwam na ka woni mrahye bedwafo ni mum emra medi anobaba ye emfa Ghana economy sikasem ho e no aba be ya no se o dabi enye sa na ye pe no ye pe ne se ye ne omampanyi dada John Dramani Mahama ne begina na ya hwede o ye bema na Ghana fo agine mu ato aba ede amawo. Na otumfo say to Asante Merua or eye Ingresi abrochimemu na wakasa ede atudwa se amai awodro na Ingresi man edi omuso eniema awodro ye mpempena de agudie ene nananom ahemfo ho akade na omsesa koye no omfama amaman no na emoa ema amamre ne amane ene honhom ne samre bimu na no so ba ne sa woto ne sa fe wiase nyina so momra santimantemu mehwe eniema awodro a ekoso
Asante hine otumfo osetutu otosomi no na wotwetwe mu ena wone ne mpanyimfo ekopie mu ewa UK abrochimemu na eye nnwumadie pi ena esi asante hine otumfo osetutu otosomi no enim ewa UK abrochimemu emu baako ekoso na wotwe awieye emra omo ebodwa ewa British Museum eno ewa London no asante hine otumfo osetutu ekokasa ekire mpanyimfo a yeto omo nsa efre omo na emra wo kasa ena wo kire se emra bi atwam a o hwe abakosem a eye abro efa akoti kwan so ede eniema bi a na ye asantefo de ede koye empempena de ene ebi ho kra isika kokko na o kyerese saa niema na emre bi a etwam wo mo ede koye na ya de ha adwene pa o de asante kingdom no kra to nchen a pakuo no bi so ewo emia hodo a ebi ewo ebibrem a edo so edi wo mo edi mo na obesre se empo ebetimi a edwa bokasie bi ebekoso ewo eye Ghana ha wono asante no tumfo osetutu otosumi no odo na bedi anim se de be ya wo mbebu nkompo do mo hwe saa niema esisi ya ense emfata otoa so say.
It is barely 8 weeks since I welcomed to our palace in Kumasi the directors of the British Museum and the Victoria and Albert Museum, who had traveled down to formally hand over a cache of traditional artifacts the museums had loaned to our Manshia Museum. The artifacts, as the world knows, were part of a huge stock looted from the palace of my great-grand-uncle during the invasion of Kumasi by the British troops in 1874, and their return was a culmination of years of careful negotiation between us and the two great museums. The response of my people to the return of these artifacts had been truly reassuring. The return is being celebrated at one level with the same reverence as the heroes of a state returning from enforced exile, and at another level, marking the spiritual reconnection with lost souls. What this tells us is that, for us, the artifacts we speak about are not just some inanimate creations of aesthetic value. They represent our soul. They represent the spirit of our ancestors, the authority of our kings, and the heroes of our past returning in triumph from the battlefield. Even so, we do not and cannot pretend that the agreement we have offers the solution to the issue of restitution. What it does is to acknowledge the impediments in the path, not in order to submit to it, but to find avenues for fruitful engagement while continuing to seek the appropriate rational resolution. In days gone by, our nations needed brave hearts to win wars. Today, we need great minds to win souls. My sincere hope is that in the fullness of time, sooner than later, state authorities will take steps to review laws contrived to protect illegalities and permit all concerned to apply themselves to the rational resolution of the challenge of restitution. I stand ready in the spirit of international harmony to invite the world to Kumasi for a global conference to seek universal consensus on the peaceful and rational restitution of illegally procured cultural objects.
Jump.
ɛno akyi mpanyinfoɔ mmienu ɛkasae director ɛdema British Museum ɛyɛ Nicholas Collinan ɛna afei Professor Kwame Anthony Appiah.
The relationship between the Golden Stool of Asante and the British Museum is one which is now 200 years old. And we were delighted that the visit of Your Royal Majesty to the British Museum last year was the catalyst for signing a new memorandum of understanding between the Golden Stool and the British Museum. The recent collaboration on the exhibition in Kumasi and this lecture are the first results of this new phase in our relationship, and we look forward to continuing this partnership with new projects.
We should all be grateful to Ivor Regimandua and Malcolm MacLeod, old friend of Asante and once keeper of ethnography here at the British Museum, for successfully negotiating this happy outcome. The Kumasi of Nana Prambi II was a wonderfully cosmopolitan city. There were people there from all regions of Ghana and most of West Africa, speaking all the languages of Ghana and the region. So I would like to thank Asante on behalf of my sisters and myself for the pleasure and privilege of having grown up in your wonderful city, sir.
Na nkoso hene a wono wo dumasua a ewo bunu mantam ni mu asi ni tirimu pose obehwe aduaduanua amadumasua aye fefefe na afenso aye bunu we ne nam so ama Ghana Institute of Planners for e de abetudwa chimsa na montu a wotu no eye entuamuta na chi omo bona baso
Ghana Institute of Planners Sunyane Zone na ye ba dumasua community was Sunyane West Municipal Assembly. Ebe share jumedia ohen nkoso ohen no yema club no. Green City concept and urban renewal and also follow within land use and spatial planning activities. It's ebe share urban green no so no wadwedwe enua no wasan old towns no renovate na pavement and a road and a conference center a police station for security issues na baby na very interesting say how our team integrated these informal activities like containers na sisi basa but what team are relocate omu nyina was asase a why na kama amakro emano it's na ye kase other leaders no opinion leader chiefs no and put people at the center of development no mo hu de ehia se kuro no as a sustainable development goal 11 achieve.
There was 7-year development plan 7 years it started last year. First year no year for cleaning. So once they do your flowers no the portals I mean that's me see baby all that was the last year. This year no infrastructure. Until this year you see the background see you see a police station. In fact, after anniversary, you will see a ICT center, a library very soon. Land in watch the hair. You buy AstroTurf because hire our football talent. You crew him. You buy AstroTurf so. Next year, also buy industrialization. They say, "Bet we Ghana year we need holistic thinking and planning." Yes, me support to say, "Yemfa or maybe I say crew no him for sase money." But there must be serious supervision there. Say buy him for so no. Enya no basa basa. There were so many cases a quarter a waste of time. And we bet me solve ewa himfi. This are buying the 2 minutes him for answer. Ebe my court no so then I a little bit less busy. No more to me handle better situations. So I think say I will also support the idea say nka mo mfa kru no amamboni bibia nhye ahim for answer.
Say ye pempuntu a we amaba abehu ye ina ye ho. Enye say ye be ka say ye twen aban. Enye aban na ye adwuma ye hu enei. Eye nipa kakrai nipa baako ene supporter onya around ono na we na de fefe ye hu nti wontina ho nkasa wo twen aban
tisi eyi program a ekoso sisi a wo dumasua ha no we need to integrate sensitizing the people to understand the whole concept so that the sustainability of the way a bibia toto no ometimi sustaining because you see the kind of infrastructure that is going on here. So manya sa ntiase no said they have to be able to sustain whatever that has been started. One way ye bekwa animu no na asa back to the way ana chronicity no but you see you here be hu se be bia ye fe and it's integration na akoso no na ama sa ntiase no abanti ye hwese the whole city will become clean as well.
Jakoni ani ensenhwe ni Jacob adi nkomo adi freedom yabra adeche ne chem say yetu won omonte ase enti Jacob kubi eba bebo ye nchirimu Jacob akwaba
me ba me juso
eba do say
yo me ne ka say de obepiemu wo eye dentira do me abra adeche a ewo ho no omoni abrepa ye a enye asenkuma na eye bibi eye ena na pe ya na nya nti ese nkofo bi esu ewo dentira enya asenkuma entimde meka ebepiemu ewo ha se ya me ya ba ye no nti ya ye tinyina ne se papa bi a ye friend Asari eno ye din a ye nsa eka ye one of mo boss go etire mu a omo etire mu se o se o de eye peni bi akọ ewo eye dentira na okọ court no wakodi nkunim ewo nsase a ewo dentira so enti minu ka se adehye no bebre omo dentira no ye yiyi omo niama etu omo de mu ede egufom one of mo yes ade ni ye machofo a ne papa ya yesusu se ono no kopa nkrofo e ba yi any police for omo fi greater Accra region na edi etire no mo ba ye ne mo enya police for no na sisa niama ni pie ye boys no na yiyi niama no epie ye na abra omo yiyi niama no ewo dentira wie no eno mo de omo ni etire eye domi abra omo kodu ho no so no mo sha ase omo ye dissenting ena dem abra mranche ni si baby enya ade a omo be preso ema eye papa ye fa na sari ene ne nkofo eyiyi eniama pia bonche sanse omo nyane tie se oni obi akwa we court ewo eye dentira na enye domi abra nti domi abra de enya ade a omo be preso eno no ekodane timiwase ewo ye machofo no ene dentira eye domi abra boys ni ntem ema be dane gidigidi ana enya asenkuma na ekwa wi etire no no mo hu se eya omo adu mu tire mu se eya police for mu di eye wona mba be yi niam na epie no omo ya ata eye wona omo abeti akete ni so mu so mbufu ye na omo kwosisa eye ties na omo di gu kwani mu aminu ka se omo so eja so mu a omo chi ni baba ente eja no ekoso no na eye edom dodo na epie ewo dom ya brakro mu ho eba eye kwani mu a enya asenkuma enta police for no hwe de we ade na ekono na fe de omo da bedem finfin na omo pata afanu mienu ni nyina tize mi no ka say de a police for no ada ne omo ho omo de omoni akire enka kwan na mo mbrantie na omo de eye asarechi ede baaye no ono omo de omo da so ejiremu a omo ne eye dentira domi abrafo no eyi ano na de domi abrafo ni kan nyina ne se ni nkata omo kita ni nsem omo kan nyina se omo ni eye dentira fo na eko eye court de enye eye domi abra nti omo free ha mo nko so police for no ko by branch ni de omo ayo ma agency omo nko me you ka say de ye wa twem de besi bia no ye mfa nka me etefo
ni kokko to sedey
o tiremu a o de omo kokko se eye asase a ewo eye dentira no ne fan ye ne dia na sabia no na eye court ebua e de ama no na me no ka say de won omo wo dentira no ankasa ye yiyi omunyama efi dan ni mu no dodo na omo nye won na omo ye kroma ni na mom ya hoho omo beto omo asase a omo sisi adan bi mu wo ma adan no omo esi na so omo ntim etreso ma me fo na etim enti etreso ma me fo no nso de omo ni ahonde a omo ni obi be preso enti ye yiyi omunyama no mo gira ho de ombe ya ni se esu na omo besu but omo kodu domi abra no na domi abra fo ka se papa odi dentafo na court enye domi abrafo nti omo mpene so eno na edi mintime wase no abasisi yi
bra any dentira no ebomu ana
me no ka say de ebom omo hie no ka kwan pe na etwam
mo ene wa mane bo de besi bia na odi amaye akiri yes ni Jacob kubi ni yete ni nka no na sesia no ene mpanifo ehu se so bi eco savings and loans for nchen ekwakwaji bosia no pe no watupi afa adwahwe na wuhu no entenam so makwankyerefo wono ena savings and loans skakrabia no kabumuko no wada no owura atwerebu akodua boache ede atodwa kyerem se wono beje bosia na omu enkyere munya isa de fi se egu adwuma no a afa enso em wante se no bi kwakwaji bosia ye beje ne ho ensem ahwe se wonkwaji bosia wadwane ye ansa na yetimidi amano
Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies, one more afin share mono, one more kushim de tosudu nine. And I'm so am share mono as an executive secretary. How that go yanom, or a tribu could be up watching. What should I say? empre bebre no one mo how bebre one mo adwuma ne so obi beje bosia nipa ne je bosia ne wie ya pe na wadwane akotena abrochire omo hwehwe nipa ne baabi enye yi eno ena ema no ede adwen bi aba akire se teach public workers here wonom ekoje visas ede etu kwan ko amanone abra o majo musika no e wo so omo mani eko ho
share savings and loans for adwuma a omo di afi etwa mu na 2022 no near about 5.5 billion but crofo gidi a omo savings and loans mu ne omo beji loan omo mdo musika beto ho ene owners no so sika omo di shim no ma yen assets enyini ko nanim e could do 7.7 billion no there ba ko so e ha adwen ye se omo gi loan e wo savings and loan a omo gi ana omo adwane no anaso mafiro man no no so no ni nyina ya ade a de sunsanso eba yen sika korabia edwumadie no nyina mu ebite se nurse se obegi sika na pe na wadwane ko Afrigana nti ade ba kwa yesusu ne se obi kwaje visa no ye aban dwuma ye ni sa ye misa se kwaje letter free where you ho anasa report or credit report yemma omon credit report enka visa process no ho na hu se woni obi ka so wodi adwuma bi ka enhyehyɛ be na waye ene adwuma no wo so nya evidence eno ye bo ye a ebetumi aboa yen
cooperate with fintechs to design innovative products and services tailor-made to specific needs of neglected segments of the market, thereby creating value for all stakeholders. Adopting such digitalized design business models would help bridge the financial exclusion gap based on geography and economic status, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, lower levels of financial inclusion have been associated with financial illiteracy. Therefore, as part of the financial inclusion agenda, GASAC should seek to educate and sensitize the public on financial products and services offered by your institutions. Such financial education programs must target households and communities to empower targeted and disadvantaged financially excluded groups based on gender, age, and location.
NPP Amayokonu Frank Ekreni Abedieche Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe Yabone Sambrane Sendapu ono so edi campaign ahyehyɛ so anya asem ketwa kora okwato ye mantemu ofrato ye mantemu mfimfiri mantemu mfimfiri mantemu bedru nkran na ipese ebisa se campaign message no eno ne de special aid edi mano no eye onimonyamfo Eko Vincent Asifua owo ahomane so ona bo akwaba
mejo so na patrete say
yehu adom ye ho ye pa campaign e ko say
campaign no nyame adaro ma yeguso nkaka nukre mze enra ye Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe dodo na afeno na po mra bo be no nkunu anopa be na the vice presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party Ekopiemu ewo ada. That was our first visit, and indeed during our first visit the vice presidential candidate Matthew Poku Prempe apo enya kwan ehia ye hemfo ewo ada na we share the message out the koya. Clearly he wanted to explore and also he wanted to espouse the relationship between the chieftaincy as an institution and the political class. And we share the history of our country even before independence. The people, in his estimation, almost fighting for independence, was the chief. And unfortunately for us, our constitution, that is the constitution of the Republic of Ghana, the 1992 constitution, a year chieftaincy, free, a year yamanyo. Now, we need to give them their rights. We need to, as it were, sensitize them, say that because to him it is the responsibility of the chief to have a right to talk about their own development. And so, say Article 277 of the 1992 Constitution,
any concern for a partisan politics. Yes, they are not supposed to do partisan politics, but they are also supposed to do politics because it is their interest to make sure that the development of their communities, because if they don't speak about it, who else can also talk about that? Indeed, these were the kind of conversations that now Dr. Matopoku Pempene, the people of Ada, especially Hemfono, in fact, he also reminded them of the role that the chiefs played and I said play in the attainment of our independence, and that shows that at all point in time in the life of our country, chiefs has always been playing a role. For that matter, he felt that it is proper over to me so that they can be awakened. Normal to me, abwa a year or mine in terms of its development. If you also know, was a whole insure of what more counseling and guidance, especially now that he has also started his campaign, because ultimately it's a campaign where brown company for now, especially for now, so that he can be able to embark on a campaign. And if say better say the running mate of the MPP, which is running mate to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Abaya Da or Bear campaign and paying for an asset for Okrampu Omona, the land of Neomodia Nasa Omodia. And so before he can move to any place of a campaign, it is proper that he can engage some few chiefs, but the chiefs also know say indeed they are the owners of the land. If you know, in fact, even at down Oshe and Penufu Casaho, Hinfune Casaho, clearly you could see that they were very much happy and they were very much convinced about the work the new patriotic party in another than Koku and Oshe that accounting from Nipano War on Hinfunanga. Clearly you could see they were happy. Some of them mentioned a year school down CDMA or more, sea defense, quite a number of things. And they appreciate Dr. Matthew Puku Prempene now buying that is Abaya Nanadu Nanko Fado Edano. And so it was heartwarming for him. There were a number of people who also came there in their party paraphernalia who also came to support Dr. Matthew Puku Prempene Adana. Ukraine, you free Adano, and the best in bar, Pram Pram. When we also came to Pram Pram, I mean, similar story. You could see the enthusiasm between the chiefs and normal elders, the telepathy between Dr. Matopoku Prempene and Fono, Dr. Matopoku Prempene at any point in time on your opportunity, so Casano, Osha, Brazil, de Casa, or de stress, him for no, and a 2 million modia. And they have started. If the chiefs are able to be convinced that indeed this time we should give them the opportunity, we do GD say between them. And at the Srediana was Pabana was a free of more counseling and guidance and was a free of more, so that you may be also the boy Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia between them, because of the customer of what they say. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said we really pay. He cannot be everywhere. It was Mano and then some Masha and say, no message for. Was this year no Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Munamaye, the Upper West region, and I said some parts in the Upper West and the Northern region. And so clearly he cannot be at the same place. Into Wasmano, then some Masha and say, message him for no. Say, I feel December 7th, about for Naya Papato, best say him for no Buano. No more, no more subjects, and also almost for elders named Pennyworka Akasa, no more to Nyabua a year MPP. Amanyokuno. If you know you free from Pram or Sapa, a Yetama, Tamahoni, they are not holding the year part because you could see that the enclave of Tema East, Tema West, other constituencies, or 4 constituencies now back together, and you could share in Fonosa, a war, a Yetamahono, and you could also see a certain telepathy between the running mate of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, which is Dr. Matthew Puku Prempene, and him for no, and quite a number of them are no more doing come out to meet history now. Man who say yes, who baby cramp, and I said who baby crampons here. They if we saw him for be able to give that history for everybody to also to be convinced that indeed Dr. Matthew Puku Prempene, yes, or you mentioned the share there, and so and now modern born papa modern bow or yes, and there are a number of places I said you also homogeneous is able to hold on as a straw to be able to survive was asking for. And these were the kind of conversations that not Dr. Matthew Puku Pempe and Agent for no Enya. In fact,
Honorable Vincent, I am common na yedi timpacha na wetie me so kakra. Kwa awoko ni nyina no aya na ahemfo ne wona woko ahemfo ne wona woko. Ebi bisa say Owura Napo ni campaign message pa no eno ne de he.
Dr. Matthew Puku Pempe ni campaign message. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na campaign message.
Eti campaign message na wajibi ni de he na wo somu a ono so de ko.
Na medical cash or Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na presidential candidate. When you listen to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the campaign message, you know, one way or the other is to make sure they consolidate the gains that this government has at the upper. And some of the gains is to make sure that there is continuity as far as free senior school education is concerned. He's also talking about some tax freebies or tax relief for businesses and what have you. He's also talking about making sure we can make sure the system are digitalized. I mean, where we can have most of our people also getting into a certain platform, our banks and other people can also make sure our system is streamlined. These are the kind of messages that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia added up. And one that Dr. Matthew Puku Pempe and so catch here for no. But as I said, after several catch message, we know Dr. Matthew Puku Pempe a year, the news was even said, ne issue at the core, I feel no, simple. And one said, for no answer, I said, your modia, or no, I think your body. Say, Montesa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, or no, dear, your body that Danas will know the kind of vice president, I want him, we now see a process of who is Shania Dom, or nobody can cover the any campaign. Sometimes they become for info. But we need to know, I think your body, so it is proper and it is right. So, bit of my best threat, a year in Funo, a dome in Sha, any point, or be so more a point. I can't with me for the campaign. So, your him from 1 year for still dominating Shase, you might find him to me a campaign because Omona and Sassano and Ayomodia. But Dr. Puku has no message. The message that he has is the same message that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is also carrying around the country.
Yo mo ene adaje ene brawanya de amaye. Ni besa babiem ni edi nkomo because nkrofo wotirimuka bi se Owura Napo de esabi wo ya homaso kakra. Enti epese ebisa sesi anu de be ne ebeye amasa de free nkrofo tirimu na omo agina tumu.
Of course, I'm sure so we should just now papa Matthew Puku Pempe ne ebunu mu asabi. What here ohene no. So it is not any kind of conversation for ebenya. Matthew Puku Pempe ebunu mu asas no here ohene for. Who said that is where the reverends are supposed to be.
Okay.
While picture ya audio told TV, so you can see that the running mate himself has knelt down in front of the chief, showing reverence to the chief, showing respect to the chief. So it is neither here nor there that the running mate is arrogant.
Yo, yate. Yadase. Yabesa baby ni edi nkomo bim. Yani eye onmunya for Vincent eko asifo ade edi nkomo yi. Oye special aid edima Dr. Matthew Puku Pempe wano na NPP amayiko no ye Frank Akrani abedi akiri. Enti nkrofo nso ebisa sese bi nya krama ho brase ya na enti eno so ya nada nkomo ebedi. Ye ko eye apuoye mantemu eye nso ano mesinim na ade hye na omo ewo kwadwohum na afa nso no eye ko ano na ne omo di tudwa akire mu se yaba ekwan pa efra ne se ekwan ade omo nam so no ese bi kwanfo pa no maka ho asema mpanifo enyentie no omo de aba betu bedwom esra ba ne se aban no ntwa nani no omra mehwe wo
yekuya nkoya no wo ho a ewo ayensu ya no mansi no ma ewo apue mantamu na nipa yi niema wodua pa ye enobai koko atosode ne niema ahoro bebre ya wo ye wo ho na se wo hwe adwuma wo ye nyina ti ya wo hwe se impo empanyi etete offices ne ade benya aduan adi no won so wo fa ohaw mu pa eyi na wo kiremu akwan a wode won enobai fa so no ya akwan a enye kura enche bia na opanyi bia wanya mfi aduanan ko wam ya ofito saa obom bia insuta mu a ohwere ne nkwa eyi na wo kiremu a ntamu ho na wo ne de akwan na ma wonya won ahomeka kura na se afiri a ekoho bia na atwe na afiri akoho ba akono saa afiri no so ede kwa na si wo kwan so na afiri na nkasa na nto akoba bia ansa na mananto akwakotenemu a eye ohawo kese ma won eyi na wode adeserede to empanyin animusi enye se okwan no wo meka so kota na mu wontwa so se na beya afiri betumi adi akoniaba wo so na won no ba ya wode kogwa na ade no won atumi de akose na enka kwantimfi se na biribia ya na apro wo okwan no so no
ebedu na se ka ne bedu na ye gusro ha ska akra na mede beto na adu me sande bopa na wan sa no nyina begu kuro nim asa bia ya nyabobo ya de akoma kura ho no kwari ska ikura ni nyina akra ahyew ye nyabi nti ayesra ban so mo aye ye mfahwi wo menim se ye nkwan no se ye yare a bro eya hometo
amemfe ni ye de ba nti ye ba enyafo ayemfa agisi afa 6 na 7 etoda bi kwa tratra bonnet no so se ka bia manti ba ko ba dia ebi betna bonnet no so na esi omo junction no so anase moto na twom atanso moto tade omo bobo ho nti bi okra won fro oprepra ni ade nti so hu ka ne sa se ba ko atimi aba 6 7 8 no mu nyina for so se yemfa omo nko to wo brepa wo kwan no
yen kwan ni nye almost 30 years ni a me be ware wa ha ya bresa ma yemu binu ye nyina ye nya yare ye nan ye nya ya adusia enko yen koko enko bibia enko da bia ye ka kwan so driver fui woka ne ye so ya ye niama ama ye me nyina ye nyina ye nan ye nyina ya yare fo ewa ha nti ye sere wo mra no mu metwa kwan no ma ye sere wo
mi ko dwa nso me nya ka ntumi ma me kuro num na me de niama no akọ nti no me pese agisa me soa etwa nsuo no ansa na ka aba abefa na wa bresa ti sere aban me hwe kakra no me boa ye na ye nkwan no o me boa ye wo ye nkwan no ho na ma ye kwan no ntumi ntwa so ma ye nyesa de bia ye ho kire ye enu po ye nkwala ye ko suku a gisa wona ma chechemu ni nsuo mu da biri wo nsuo na yiri wo ntumi ntwa na wa san ya betena fie ti sra ban ohun ye mobo
ye di enya pa lo kwan no ayese apem ha akwa ko adesu na mo ye ena ye nti na ya preso
ye jina wese so ahome abaye babongo di Farade Sports akudi eba beto aso ye basisi ya